Hi guys, it's Uldouz and welcome to the Uldouz Show. And today I have a very super special guest. His name is Asri Bendacha, and he's famous because he's like done this documentary that's amazing. It's called Follow Me on Netflix, and he also has many other documentaries that he made that we're gonna get into. So thank you so much, Asri, for joining me today on my show with me, Uldouz. My name is Uldouz, and this is the Uldouz Show.
So much, so much.
Yeah. So let's just get into it. What made you want to do Follow Me? And can you explain a little bit to people that haven't watched it yet? They should definitely watch it. But it's so interesting. I watched the whole thing. That's how I got in touch with you, because I'm like, this is amazing. So can you explain more to everybody what it's about and what was the purpose of you making this?
Well, the Follow Me, it's a documentary about the social media influencer phenomenon. But so I wrote it in 2016, and I released it on Netflix in 2018. So at that time, social media wasn't that. It was very different. Now it's extremely mainstream. But in 2016, like 6 years ago, it wasn't that big yet, you know what I mean, in the media world. So I was one of the first ones to do a documentary about this Instagram world, basically. They weren't TikTok yet, but so I made this documentary, and that it was very good actually. Good review, so I'm happy about it.
Yeah. And what do you think as far as the whole social media and getting the likes and all of this stuff going? It's like a machine constantly to try to get approval from other people on social media.
I hate, I did it because I hate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the way I function. It's like when something matters to me, then I made a documentary about it so I can understand, and I make some research. But I like social media? I hate social media. I think it's insane the amount of bullshit. Can we say bullshit on your show?
Yeah, of course.
Can we curse?
Yeah, go ahead. Just be honest about everything. Yeah.
For me, it's pure bullshit. It's
Yeah.
like 99% of the content on social media is crap. Like it's embarrassing for me. It's very embarrassing. So I have a very complicated relationship with my Instagram account. For example, it's like, do I want to be that ridiculous to get likes, to get views? Do I have to do this to get attention? So it's very hard for me. So at the end of the day, I just like post once a while, or when something like bothers me, I just post something quickly just to tell to people to stop telling me what to think, you know, because social media, it's all about telling you what you think. Like, what do you have to think? So you have to agree on certain things. You have to I don't know. It's insane though. For me, it's crazy. So I just mess around a little bit sometimes. Like, my concept of social media, it's to lose followers though. That's what I do the best.
What I love about your show is you go up to people and you try to get them to follow you in real life, and it's like it was like pulling teeth. They're like, "What the hell? Who are you? Like, what's going on?" You know?
No, that's what people do. It's just a caricature of what people are doing online. So I
Yeah.
just like take it, put it in the real world, and it became funny suddenly. You know what I mean? Suddenly it's funny, but that's what people do actually on social media. Like they're willing to do the most stupid things just to get some likes and views from total strangers that don't really care about you. And they're following like 2,000 or 3,000 other people that just scroll, give you a like, a view, and gone, you know? So like that's what people are looking for. For me, it's insane. No, it's insane. It's a crazy world we're living in right now.
Yeah, and what's so crazy about social media, what I noticed with Instagram, for instance. So what's so crazy is that before, you could be creative. If you had an idea, you could create whatever you wanted, and there wasn't real censorship kind of thing going on, right? But now it's I think because there's so many crazy stuff and content and crazy people doing crazy things, they censor so many things. It's you can't even really be yourself or be creative. It's you have to be this boring human that don't create all these crazy ideas, so it's either or, right? And then another point of view of all this is, for instance, for me, if I like didn't work and like with social media, and like this was a way of me like creating more work or making money or whatever, like I wouldn't really even be on social media, you know? Like social media was just a way for me to get more work for casting and this and that. I didn't know I could like make money off of it when I first started, and it was way more fun, and it was just kind of building, and like, oh, you don't even know what's going to happen, you just kind of do it, right? But then it turned into like its own machine, and it's like, you know, all these people and they're following you, and now you're getting brands, and you know, they want you to post about something, right? Which is like amazing, right? Because I didn't even know that that was going to happen. But then the downside is like all these other like comedy influencers came, and they just looked at me as like competition or something, and it just became like a evil territory, like take her down, like do this, do that, you know? And I'm just like, why can't we all win? Why can't we all work together and get along, right? But it was in the view of like a lot of these other people. And so I don't know, it's, I feel like influencers, especially the comedy ones that I used to deal with, they were just so evil. Like the amount and extent of ways they will go to tear people down, not just me but other people, that they just like, oh, she's on her way up or he's on his way up, let's take her down, you know? Like it's crazy, all for followers and likes, and meanwhile you could just all work together and everybody could win. What's the problem with that, you know?
That's human behavior. Like that's like in the real world as well. It's like we can all like be together and everything, but that's not how it works. So people need an enemy constantly, you know what I mean? People need, like, it's like countries, they always need an enemy like to survive, you know what I mean? A plus and a minus, whatever. So that's the same thing in the digital world. That's exactly the same thing. That's why I'm like, I don't want to be part of it, you know what I mean? Like I could have, what I wanted to show with Follow Me, it's like I can become an influencer if I want, and I'm going to prove it to you. But at the same, so I can do what you're doing, but can you guys do a film, or can you
Yeah.
guys like do something else? And that's what I wanted to prove a little bit. It's like I can do it's easy, you know what I mean? Like 12,000 of followers, whatever, 20. How many people have like 40, 50, 100,000 followers? Like there's like so many, you know what I mean? But what they do really represent in the real world, they don't represent anything. And as soon as you unfollow them, they completely disappear from your life, you know? It's with just one button. When you unfollow someone, this person disappear from your life automatically. So
Yeah,
it's
because they're
just
not
like
like a household name or something like that, right?
if I don't
Yeah.
see him on the phone, I will never see him anywhere else. You know what I mean? It's not like a football player that I can watch on the TV and then there is like news about him because he's called or whatever it is. You know, he exists. There is poster of him in the street. But those people, no, they just exist on TikTok, on Instagram, on Snapchat, and and then he hits you alive. Like those phones, those machines, those technologies, they eat people's alive. Really, like they make you waste so much time that like
Yeah.
it's useless. It's very useless. You know, when you scroll, like how many times I'm scrolling, and my brain, I'm like, the fuck am I watching? You know what I mean? It's just like it's just
Yeah.
like what am I
Especially
watching?
on like the videos and like you know, there's like all kinds of content, and you're just like, everybody's
Scroll.
creating content. Like you go to like platforms like TikTok, like everybody and their mom is on there, they're creating content. And like I honestly think like TikTok is like more fun because it's so random, like you don't really know what the hell you're gonna get. It's like
Yes, I
Russian
really
roulette, you know?
think I'm too old for TikTok. Like I really feel in my mind, it's like I can't be on Instagram and on Twitter and on TikTok and on Snapchat. You know what I mean? At the end, it's like, I can't. I don't need it. I don't need this to live. That's the
It's a
thing.
full-time
So I'm like,
job, yeah.
don't want to be on, you know what I mean? Like I see kids on TikTok, 14 years old, 12 years old, dancing in the street in front of the camera. Like I can't be, you know what I mean? I can't join them. Like it's not possible. Like, I'm not gonna lie to myself. I'm going to be on TikTok because my work opportunity. I can't pretend to be when I'm not. It's impossible. And that's why I did greatness. It's about this. It's about keeping it real in a world where the new thing is like faking it until you make it. While back in the days, it was all about keeping it real.
Yeah,
And that's the
exactly.
difference that we live right now. instead of faking it. So I choose my side. It's to keep it real.
So what's a little tricky with me and what I notice is like, for instance, in my situation, I wanted to, you know, be like a big star or whatever, like so I could have a foundation in the end, right? So the ultimate goal was never really like, oh, be like this career, like or that career. It was mainly like, oh, it's going to be so big enough that I can have my own foundation. And the ultimate goal is to help other people. And with me, I wanted to help like kids or like little girls or little boys or whatever, right? But now I go on there and I'm like, okay, well, I don't need all of those followers. I don't need all of that stuff to start like a foundation, right? So I started the foundation now and I'm like, okay, well, you know, whatever I could do with it, I could do with it now, right? I don't need like all of these people. And I think that perception is like, you know, you look at other people and you're like, oh, you need all this influence and this and that. And then, you know, you be at the top and you can help so many people, right? Which is a great idea. But anyone with like 0 followers can start a foundation and do it. But the perception is like, you know, so different when you look at it from that point of view, right? But then I started looking like, okay, well, I started mine and it's just like, I don't have like as many followers as maybe like someone with 50 or 100 million or 300 million, 200 million, whatever, right? So then I started looking, I'm like, wait a minute, there's people on here that are major celebrities and have like 50 million, 30 million, you know, 20 million, whatever. They have so many followers all across different networks. And all they're doing is just like me, right? And there's no ulterior thing or like a purpose, right? So then I'm just like, well, what is the point of this? Was the end goal just social media? Like, because when I started, like I said, it was just like, okay, I'll like, you know, do my social media so I can get more acting work because I was already in the traditional world before, right? So I had a traditional world, did acting and modeling, and then next thing you know, like Twitter and all these started coming out. And then I was on like actual like magazines and stuff like that. So I moved those followers into Instagram and then I started building from there. So I already had a base following, right? But then I wasn't even aware that it could make money and all that. But then it just kind of like this machine where you get so swept into it and you're just like working on creating content for your social media, right? And then when I met you, like I like talked to you about making my short film, and I was like, yeah, I got caught on the whole world of like social media, of just constantly creating content. But what is it doing like ultimately, right? It's like not
Fast food.
you know
Fast
so
food.
yeah, like, but I'm wondering, what are all these people doing with all their followers? Like some of them don't even like do anything except for just hoarding followers, and they're like what is the purpose of all that, you know?
It's what people, you live in a world where people think that they need to be something online to be something in the real world, and they forgot that the real world still exists. And even if they're like pushing the metaverse, you know, like this metaverse concept, even if they're pushing it forward to go more into another world, because Instagram is already the metaverse, because you can be a whole different person from who you are in the real world, you know. So Instagram, when they created the metaverse, like the thing they're pushing, they already started with Instagram, with your filters, your design, your Photoshop, thing. It's not you, you know what I mean? So it's already a different persona that you created on Instagram, and now you're going to take it to a next level, which is in the metaverse. So people will go, they will run after it. So then it's up to you what you want. Like, do you want to have to live in the digital world? This is what you want, or don't you want like to enjoy the real world, which is really nice outside? And
Yeah,
that's why I spend my time outside in the real world. I'm
yeah,
claustrophobic actually. So
it's
going
really
into
crazy, yeah. No, it's like it's really crazy because it's like, why not just enjoy the real world? It's like right here. And since when is it cool not to even be yourself? It's like, I feel like even like when you talk, you have to be so careful with like not saying the wrong thing and this and that. And I'm very like straight up. I was just like, what the hell, dude? Like, And then now it's just like, like everything is getting so censored. Like I even posted women empowerment on my Instagram story, and I try to share it to my Facebook, and then Instagram said, "Oh, you can't use that word to share it to Facebook."
Well, think about it. Think
Why?
about it. I'm not into politics. I don't vote. I'm not part of
Yeah.
any organization, no association. But in the US in 2019 or the election 2020,
Hmm.
Snapchat, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, everyone shut down the account of the president of the United States. Like whatever you like him or not, Donald Trump, you can't deny the fact that it's absolutely insane that the president of the United States can be banned from all those platforms in 24 hours.
Yeah.
It's just so censorship. That's for us. We're nothing. You're not the president of the United States. Of course, they can shadow you, they can ban you, they can do whatever they want. They can censor everything because they show you that we are more powerful than the president of the United States, and
So
that's
you
how
think that when they did that, it was just like a move to show that social media is more powerful than the president?
it can be interpreted in different way,
Yeah.
but that's one of the way you can see it. It's like they're very powerful, like they can shut down the president of the United States. So you little piece of shit like me, I'm not, I'm anything, I'm nothing in this world. What do you think they're going to do to me if I
Yeah.
speak to, you know what I mean? Of course they're going to shut me down, obviously. And they've done
Yeah.
it with comedian. They do it for everyone. Like if you think about Snowden, Julian Assange, like remember that this guy Julian Assange is actually like in jail, and
Yeah.
for years and years.
Who is
So
that? Who is that? Juliana Assange?
the WikiLeaks guy, he
The
really is
what?
like WikiLeaks founder of WikiLeaks. It's an
Oh, weekly.
organization.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
So and that censored him. So it was like already done like 5 years ago. You know what I mean? It's not new. It's just becoming like so normal now. But it started before that to shadow people, ban people, and censor people. So and we
Yeah.
accept, we comply to it.
Well, what's so crazy is that like we're supposed to have freedom of speech, and social
It's,
media controls all of that?
there's no such thing as freedom of speech, unless because freedom of speech means freedom of mind. It's mean like your mind is free, and there's not so many people with a mind who's like open. So
Yeah.
look at Tucker, even on Netflix, you're like, you know what I mean? This guy has to be canceled, and like this cancel culture also, like it goes crazy though. It's insane. It's
Yeah,
insane.
when it comes to cancel culture, it's like I feel like people that are canceling, they want to feel like they're in power, like they're in power of this person's future, they're in power of this person's career, and you know everything. They have that power, so now they're very very powerful. Because it's weird because anything can be interpreted in certain ways. Like for instance, when I got hacked, like the true story was so much different than what people wanted to portray me as. So in a weird way, even though I was like the victim of stuff, the villain got like he was a hero to people. And with me, it's like I'm over here like trying to just survive, and I'm getting portrayed as like, oh, she's this, she's that, and all like about a perception that wasn't even true at all. So it's like crazy how people, the media, social media, they can just make you look like something that you're not unless you actually say it. And even now that I'm saying it, I bet you it doesn't have the same reach, because who wants to hear the truth? Like, who wants to hear my true story about what really happened, how I got like trafficked by everyone, basically. Like,
Everyone's pretending to care about something, but at the end of the day, it's a very important lesson. You have to remember that no one really cares.
yeah,
Everyone cares his own little life. No one really cares about what's happening next to him. You know what
yeah.
I mean? And they can film it and like pretend to care, or to post something and pretend to care, and that's it. And social media gives you that opportunity. People pretend to care about cause that they have no clue about it. They don't even know
Yeah.
what they're talking about. Like they have no interest in it. But it looks good to pretend to care. It looks so good for people to pretend that I care about this. But you don't even know what you're talking about. So, and you have recent example that we're not going to mention, but there is. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like,
no, I agree. I think, yeah, there's like the whole like popular culture of posting certain things and then not posting certain things. And then people don't even want to look into it, because I think a lot of people, they just follow everything because it's exhausting if you actually found out all of the layers of what's really going on, because a lot of these things, they have so much history behind them, and it's really hard to know the actual like history unless you do all your research, right? So that's the downside, I think. So people just jump on the bandwagon like, oh yeah, like, I feel so good because I posted this and I helped support something, but they don't even know what's really going on.
but fake is the new real. It's like, that's a sentence that I like. It's like fake is the new real, because now, like that's the film. In the film where you appear,
Hmm.
what we talking about, like this whole bubble butt
Yeah.
uh, trend,
Okay,
and
so before you go into it, let's just say, so the film that Asri is talking about is called Pursuit of Greatness, and we're gonna get more into it. But it's a documentary about a rapper that's like traveling across the U.S. to pursue his dreams, to actually talk about things that matter, like the fact that he doesn't have money, and he doesn't have hoes, or strip clubs and all this other stuff. He's a working dad that's trying to make money just to survive, like. And that's the basic concept. So basically, we're going through this documentary, and we're just finding out that everything is the fake is the new real, and that's what's getting worshipped, right? So yeah, go ahead and talk about that. So I'm also in the documentary talking about you know all this stuff on social media, what's popular, and booties and all that kind of stuff.
there's this thing that I wanted to talk about in the film. It's like how it's easy to fake it in the social media world, and in the hip hop industry, because at the end it's connected. Like what's happening on social media is actually also happening in the hip hop culture, where the fake is the new real. And you have
Hmm.
this perfect example. It's Tekashi 69. This rapper.
Yeah.
So like if you check his story, if you look at his story, it's a good example of how social media works in the hip hop industry. So
Hmm.
he's nothing. He's a little kid. I think he's Mexican originally from, or I think so. Maybe whatever.
Yeah.
So
I don't really know. Yeah. I just know like he has like a rainbow hair color, and I never really looked much into him. you know?
whole character with like tattoo on his face, all this color, hair and colors,
Yeah.
and pretending to be part of. He joined a gang in New York, I think, and the Treyway gang, I think it's called. And so he joined the gang to get street credibility because he didn't have any. And at the end, so he became famous, and he got arrested. And when he got arrested, sent to jail, and he had to snitch. He had to tell to people, to the police, that yes, he collaborated with the police basically.
Yeah.
And then he get out. And then once he get out of the jail, he starts flexing like I'm a snitch, I'm happy, I'm rich, I'm so loaded, like I have Ferrari, whatever. The girl, the stripper, like I'm the shit.
Hmm.
And recently, he has to pay now because of this judgment. He has to pay some money to the victim, and he declared that actually he doesn't have any money anymore. He has like not get a deal from his record label anymore, and it's struggling as fuck. So now you have this guy who's alone, who there's some people who wants to maybe kill him that he
Hmm.
betrayed, but you're famous, bro, and you pretending to be all these things, and now look at you all alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a very sad story, though. It's actually a very sad story,
It
but is it
is.
the victim of the social media world? Is one
And
of the
the
victims.
whole culture of like all of that, because you looked at him back then, you were like, wow, he's like really popular and like got all this activity on social media, and everybody seems to love him, like or like feed into his post, and he gets reposted everywhere, everybody's talking about him, what a cool guy. And then next thing you know, it's like he's all the way down, you know?
And you lie, you pretended to be something. So the film, it was like to explain this example, but we explain also like that's why the fake money in the industry, the streams, and the physical appearance of the people in the industry as well. So Nicki Minaj and Cardi B, the competition between them, and how they literally created with Kim Kardashian this trend of the big butt, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're talking about. You know, even the body, even it's fake. So it's like the
Yeah.
money is fake, the criticism is fake, the street is fake, the streams are fake, the views are fake. Like everything is fake. Even your body are fake.
Yeah.
Everything. And then you have this guy who's trying but to keeping it real in the hip hop industry and how hard it is though. So that's the story about this John guy that and he's a good rapper too. So
And if you notice too, all of the people that are doing the whole like fake is the new real kind of thing, they have so many people around them, so many friends, so many people supporting them. But it's like at the end of the day, it's not even, none of it is real. It's just a perception, right? So I think the whole goal is to like create this perception. So you make yourself look like you're so popular, you're this, you're that, but it's really like just a perception that you're creating so that people will feed into it, you know? And as far as like fake and all that, like we talk about this in the documentary, like what's so weird to me is like when I started doing comedy, right? People wouldn't give me a chance because they were like, oh, she's a girl, like girls aren't funny or women aren't funny, da da da. So I was like, okay, they're not gonna give me a chance unless I do sexy funny, right? So I started doing sexy funny, and then I started noticing like, well, all the guys that I collab with, they're using like me as the sexy funny, right? And I'm like, actually for their sketches, I was coming up with the writing, I was coming up with the whole concept and everything, right? So I was basically doing all of the work behind it. And I was the girl that was the clickbait and this and that. But then at the end of the day, like they will get all the credit because they're guys, right? So guys are naturally funny, and women, like they don't have anything except for just that, right? Like the body. So I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Like sexy funny is the way to go, and clickbait is the way to go, right? So all of the guys were using the clickbait technique, and the clickbait technique is basically put somebody's butt or booty or boobs or some kind of crazy clickbait scenario, so people will click on it. The more clicks you get on it, the more likely it is to go viral, right? And then you get more followers and likes and all of that stuff, right? Which is important if you're like in the social media game. So I was like, okay, I'll just add the sexy stuff and make myself the clickbait because I have a booty, you know? So I'm like, I'll use that. But then, like, obviously, I don't have the big boobs. So sometimes I'll be like, hey, can I borrow your boobs to put in the clickbait, you know? But like to some other girl, or I'll use another girl. But usually I'll use myself. And my videos were going viral like crazy because I knew how to like put the clickbait thing to get people to click on it, right? But then what's so crazy now is like Instagram is like censoring like all of that, you know? But then they're not censoring guys who are doing it. They're only censoring women that are using the clickbait technique because I think it just caught on, you know? So that's like a weird thing too. Why are women getting censored so much? But then if you go on a guy's page, it's like naked stuff all the time, you know? It's weird.
I haven't paid attention to it recently. Though. I haven't paid attention to this.
Yeah.
So do you think that women are more like censored than men?
Well, depends. Like there's women that are paying people at social media, and you might know some of the platforms. You go on there and they're like literally doing like porn or like nudity, right? But then you could post a picture with a turtleneck and you get reported for doing porn. Like what? Like it makes no sense. Like what, the girl is like literally naked and she has all these followers, but like clearly she's like paying someone, because why is all of the exceptions of falling for this one person or these five people, right? And I'm not talking about like like the big superstars like the Kardashians and stuff like that. I'm talking about like influencers, like girls that are influencers that are like literally naked on there. You know, they're showing their vagina and nipples and ass crack and hair like down there, you know, like it's just straight up naked. And I'm over here like, oh, I have a comedy video with a skeleton, you know, and it's like, oh my God, that's so bad, you know?
Why do you think it is that way?
What?
Why do you think it is? This is the way it is. Why do you think that it's like at the end? Why are they doing it?
Well, why do you think, or you asking me why they're naked on there?
Why they have to cancel something that is not very sexual and they leave something sexual in the platform? Why do you think they're doing this?
Because I believe that they're paying someone on the back end. So whoever is getting paid is allowing this stuff to stay up, you know? And it's like all of the exceptions are like okay with this person, right? Because they're getting paid. But someone that's not doing anything wrong, or like it's very mild and is not even doing anything, like I think the rules are very turned depending on who it is, who's getting paid, and then on top of that, like, are they maybe telling this person that's getting paid also like make sure that this person doesn't come up and that person doesn't come up, you know? So whoever is getting paid is basically controlling the social media accounts of other
So
influencers, you know?
someone at Instagram to do this
What?
can pay someone at Facebook or Instagram to do this. You can
Yeah,
pay
I
them.
mean, there's people that have paid, and like, there's people obviously that claim they can do all these things, and then, you know, they're scammers, but there's actual people that are like getting paid, you know? It's just very hard to find those people. And when you do, then you have someone, and there's people getting like, you know, they're paying to do all kinds of crazy shit to their account, to other people's accounts. And it's just a matter of like who they want to like get followers from, who they want to like move out of the way. Maybe they look at them as competition, you know, who they're like you know, whatever, like they just see them as a threat. They just want to get them out of the way. They can like literally shadow ban your whole account, so you're not even getting like seen anywhere, just based off like jealousy, you know? It's crazy. Like the stuff
Like,
people do for social media now is insane. Like I'm telling you, when I first started, it was like so straightforward. There weren't like people that worked at Instagram that you would talk to, or, you know, like it was just literally you would post and that was it.
yeah,
Like good times, you know?
that's the
And like
same.
it wasn't even about the likes. It was like, and then what's so crazy too, when I first started Instagram, anytime I will post, it will go naturally to the popular page. So it wasn't even about that. I think it's kind of similar to how TikTok works now. You would just post and it will go to the For You page after a while, right? And then you just like people that don't even know you will see your stuff. But now all the fun is taken out. It's like Mark Zuckerberg wants you to pay him so people can see your post, and it's all about money now, you know?
I think it always has been about money, but it's just more clear now. You know what I mean? The business is established, but at
Yeah.
the end of the day, people are doing something for money. At the end, it's all about money. Like the money rules the world, so it's just about money from the beginning. Like there's no people investing millions of dollars into something without expecting a return on investment. You know what I mean? So whatever it's done based on money. So that's why at the end of the day, yeah, this is the way I see the world. I see the world as a money system, a financial system. That's how I see the
Mm.
world. And that's why like crypto and NFTs are interesting because that's where we're going to. We're going
Yes.
fully into crypto.
I
That's
think
it.
so too. So with you and the cryptos and NFTs, can you like explain how your documentary Pursuit of Greatness is like involved with the whole like crypto and NFT world?
Yeah. The idea is so I'm into crypto since 2016, thanks to a very good friend of mine who told me to have a look at Bitcoins and crypto. So later on, something called the NFTs came out, and that's
Mhm.
becoming very trendy right now. So the idea was to do something very unique, very different. It's that. So there is a rapper called John. We're gonna give the film free to watch. So it's you can go watch the film on the platform. Maybe you put the link, whatever.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
for
I'll put the link in the description. So you have like the whole site with all of his films and, the NFTs and the cryptos and all that.
the thing is, so we're gonna watch the film, and if you like the film, you can buy an NFT that will allow you to receive one copy of the album of John's first album, and we're only gonna release 1984 copies of the album, and you're only gonna have access to it with your NFT. So you own an NFT, and you'll be able to listen the full album anytime. And once you're done with it, well, you can sell your NFT to someone else. And the more popular John's becoming, the more popular the NFT will be, and it will be 10 times more valuable. So that's the concept. It's to give freedom to John to be able to do whatever he wants without signing with a record label, without signing with any major, Universal Music or Sony Music. It's to try to be fully 100% independent. So the NFT, it's about this. And the pursuit of greatness, it's about freedom. So
Yeah.
that's why we want to keep the direction, because our greatness for me and John and for many people, I think should be freedom.
Yeah,
This
I
is the
agree.
most important thing.
And
So,
like
and
just to explain, John is the guy who was in the documentary Pursuit of Greatness, and he's the rapper that raps about real things and real issues. So we want to support him. He's talking about the real stuff. So I love what you're doing, and I love in the end. Oh, sorry, I don't want to spoil it, but just one little session of it or section of it, you said, why would you want people to listen to this kind of music knowing that you're going to have a future daughter or a daughter that you probably won't want to like be treated the way or listen to this kind of stuff, right? So I thought that was very interesting because I feel like a lot of people, they like know about all this, but at the end of the day they don't care. Like if you're a guy, you see it until you get like your own daughter, and then even then it's like some guys don't care, like they don't care about their daughters. So like
I
it's
think you should
just
protect the kids, like it's like even me, I was like, I can't do something that I will be embarrassed or ashamed to watch with my mom. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know if it's a cultural things or whatever, like, but like
Mhm.
Arabs, like our mom, they're like something special, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we respect them like so much. So I can't do something that my mom will not be able to watch. It's
Mhm.
impossible for me. And it's the same for my kids. You know what I mean? Like when I'm gonna have kids, I want to make sure that like I'm giving something good to them, not something like stupid or something ridiculous. No, I want them to be able to enjoy it. So I want to be proud of it.
Yeah.
And in the world, or even social media or whatever, like how you're going to portray yourself on social media, and like how which you're going to have a kid, does he want to look at you and respect you, or look at you like a weird person? Like, it's crazy though. So
Yeah. So imagine like with the law changing stuff that I'm doing and how I like became a victim of the whole iCloud hack leak, how someone just stole that whole right from me. So I feel like it's very important for the guys to join in on this. Whether it comes to music or hip hop or like the whole hack leak situation, because it could literally happen to your daughter. Like I'm someone's daughter that worked really hard on like doing all of the right things. I never been in trouble with the laws. I never done drugs. I always like kept the straight way, and it still fucking happened and it still went wrong. So it's like I think it's very important for guys to join in to protecting women, their mothers, their sisters, and not even just those, but women in general, because it could literally happen to your daughter or your future daughter. So I think
and
that's important message.
it can be your mom. Like there is like, like I'm gonna say something very personal, but whatever, I'm gonna say it. So
Hmm.
my mom had like a problem, okay, and like she went to the hospital, and they asked her if she was vaccinated or not to get her treatment.
Hmm.
And if she didn't have any document, proving that she's okay, she will not be able to get a treatment. You know what I mean? And I was so mad at the person at the entrance asking my mom this, because I will never ask this to his mom. You know what I mean? If I will be in his position, it's not like, can you see that it can be your mom, or it can be your sister, or it can be anyone from your family? You just have to relate to that person to be able
Mm.
to be kind and nice to everyone. It's like it can be someone else's kid, you know what I mean, or someone else's mother. So, ah, God, ah, God,
It's
God. So that's
hard.
why, yeah, people are fucking intense. You know what I mean? They're really, really, really stupid, and they don't think. So social media in the hip hop industry, it's like we are responsible. We
Mhm.
are responsible. Like you have to make the right move, and no matter what's going on around you, you have to make the right move no matter what. You don't have to copy people and to be like other person. You can be yourself and be real, be authentic, and you'll be free.
Yeah,
Because if you fake it, you're not free when you fake it.
I agree.
But when you're real,
So be real. Real is the
so
new
it's very
real,
important
not
to keep
real.
it
Fake
real.
is
Like
the real.
that's
I agree. All
that's
right,
my
but
fight. That's my date. That's my battle. I
yeah.
choose that.
And like we already talked about the documentary, but like where can everybody like find you on social media and stuff if they want to follow you, because I know your goal is to get unfollowed.
It's not my
Like
goal. It's
don't
just what.
follow Asri, just or follow him then unfollow him.
Follow me, you good. You know what I mean? You open mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you need to have a lot of a sense of humor right now in this world to be able
Yeah.
to survive. Like you need to. It's so fucked up. It's so ridiculous that you need to fuck around. You need to joke about it because it's unreal. So if you're following me, make sure like you're aware of what's going on and wear your smile. That's very important. You
And
have
like
to
keep
wear
an
your
open
smile.
mind, because like the thing is that I have a problem with is sometimes you might not agree with someone, but you have to just hear their side of view or like point of view or whatever perception they have of certain things. And who knows, maybe you can see their point of view from just keeping an open mind, because there is always two sides to the story, right? So even
You
in the
know,
worst case scenarios. So
when
I
I did
agree.
follow me, when I did follow me, the movie,
Hmm.
I was asking people to follow me. And then when it released on Netflix, people like ran to my account, followed me, and were asking me to follow them. So
Yes.
I had to follow like maybe like 3,000 people in like I don't know anything about them. I don't know who they are, but I can't say no because I'm
Yeah.
asking you to follow me. So if you ask me, I have to say yes. So
Yes.
I ended up like following so many people from all over the world,
Yeah.
and like then I can see like I have an idea of what's going on. What's the trend worldwide. And
Yeah.
even if there's people they're like, oh my god, they're so fucking stupid, it's insane. Or there's some
Yeah.
people that like the most like there's some, but I'm not gonna unfollow them because they're stupid. They actually like teach me a lot. So because we have different point of view and everyone has different point of view, so it makes me understand what's going on, and I want to learn from the other side. It's not like just my opinion, my side. It's like I
Yeah.
want to know some things that way. So I'm not going to unfollow anyone. I don't unfollow people.
Yeah, you
People
gotta
unfollow.
like humanize everybody, just to like see other people's point of view, why they even think something. Like even like people that think crazy things, you gotta kind of like, where is this coming from? Why would someone think like this? So certain things you gotta literally put yourself in their shoes and maybe see that maybe there's other things going on in their head or things that happen to them.
We all have problems. Everyone is trying to survive in this jungle. That's what it is at the end of the day. It's like we all are trying to survive. That's it.
Yeah.
The 99.9% of the people are trying to survive. And so we're not fighting against each other. We should be like together, because like everyone is fighting against everyone, and that's dividing to conquer. That's the same. That's what's happening right now.
Yeah.
So me, I'm like outside of this, and I will not do anything that will divide us. So I will never make a documentary that will divide us, or I will never do anything in my life that will divide people. So that's my way of thinking, and that's why you have to keep it independent, because That's the best way to make it happen. Like it's more complicated to be an independent filmmaker. It's struggling. It's very hard, but it's worth the battle though. It's funnier actually. I'm
Yeah.
not in Hollywood. You know what I mean? Like I've never been like I want to be in the red carpet. I want to go to Hollywood. I don't care about this. Like oh my god, it's like the last thing I want in my life. All I want is to make film.
Yeah.
That's and make a living out of it. That's it.
Yeah. And all
Maybe
that
first.
red carpet stuff is all actual work. Like I used to think like, wow, being on the red carpet and you look so beautiful. Da, da, da. Then when I got on that side, I was like, this is just work. Oh my God. Like it's exhausting. Like, it's all like another perception kind of thing. It's not even what people think it is. It's
No,
people are just there to, you know, like promote their movies or promote another person's movies. Like I was, brought on there to like promote a lot of movies and stuff, right? So I'm on the red carpet, like, oh hey, look at me, da da da. But check out this movie, and like people are like, wow, she's on the red carpet. Look at that, they're taking pictures of her, like. But I'm like, oh my god, I'm so tired. I just want to go home and go to sleep.
I'd rather
So
stay home, but
yeah,
I like
like
to
you
be
gotta get
home and
all
chill, do
dressed
my thing,
up.
send the film, send my work.
Yeah, it's like it's a whole project. You got to put on all this
No, no,
makeup and
it's not interesting
hair,
for me.
Yeah, it's too much. But thank you so much for doing this, and I appreciate you taking your time to like do this podcast with me and explaining everything to people. So appreciate you, and thank you for doing this again.
Thank you so much. Thanks to you.
All right, so everybody go follow him, and then you can hit unfollow right after, and then check out his new documentary. It's called Pursuit of Greatness. I'll put it in the description. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'll talk to you later. All right, bye.